Yeah, I'm not too sure how I've titled this video. I reckon it's probably something like maybe, can a petrol head drive a hybrid? Or I might have just kept it simple and said something like, I've bought a hybrid, and then done some kind of angry or sad looking face. But there it is, parked behind me. Looking very bland and boring. But yeah, today's video is about this wonderful car parked here. Yeah, kind of wonderful. But it is a Mercedes C350e. Well, the horses will be happy today, wouldn't they? Bless them. There they are, chilling out, enjoying the fact that I'm not in a C63 AMG today, because the last video I filmed here was in a C63, and yeah, it's just, that's definitely not a horse-friendly car. So, hybrid, let's talk about hybrids. By the way, I bought this car as a bit of stock. This is not something that I'm going to be, I might daily drive it. I doubt I'll even daily drive it. I think I'm just going to park it up. Is that zoomed out? Yes, it is. And stick it up for sale, but that's a different subject altogether. Hybrid. This car is a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine combined with a 6.4 kilowatt electric motor. The petrol engine produces 200 brake horsepower. The electric motor produces 80 brake horsepower, right? The petrol engine produces about 250 pounds-feet of torque, and then the electric motor also produces about 250 pounds-feet of torque. So you look at an 80 horsepower engine or an 80 horsepower motor producing the same amount of torque as a 200 brake horsepower petrol engine. So this is the battle that we've got, guys. Us as petrol heads, we've got to go through the drama now of accepting that electric motors are producing more power than petrol cars. This internal combustion engine, it is definitely fading out, and I ain't too happy about it. I'll be honest with you. Like, this is a big thing for all of us. This is the end of an era. So going back to the engine on this car, so the little 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol turbocharged engine with the little 80 horsepower electric motor, combined it produces 443 pounds-feet of torque, right? That is a hell of a lot of torque. And to put that into context, you know the C63 AMG that I was just talking about, the one that scares horses? That car also has 443 pounds-feet of torque. Yeah, this is playing with my mind a little bit. So when this car came in yesterday, I thought, do you know what? It is dull, it's boring, it's soulless, but I'm going to drive it home because I'm curious to see what it's like. Right, I've got to try and engage with this hybrid subject. I'm not keen to do it, but I know that this is the way the world is going. So I drove it home. I got in it and I drove it, and I thought, yeah, it is as soulless as I thought it was, but it's actually quite quick, man. Like, it ain't slow, I can tell you that. And I have got my draggy box with me somewhere in one of my pockets, along with everything else that's in my pockets. Here it is, and I've been doing these 20 to 70 mile an hour draggy times with my draggy box, and the car that is near the top of the list, ironically, or believe it or not, is the C63 AMG. Now, I do not think that this will come even close to the time that the C63 AMG done it in, because it just doesn't feel as quick. But I suppose, well, we'll see shortly, won't we? We will see. But the thing is noise unnecessary? Are these big petrol engines all mouth for no action? I suppose they're not no action because they do perform really well. But is it necessary for a car to make all this bloody noise? Because if this car is producing 443 pounds-feet of torque, but anyway, we'll go for a driving step. We won't talk about that just yet. Let's flip the camera around and go for a little wander around the car. proper sales rep looking car in it. But you know, all these little blue touches like in the headlight there, the brakes, which is actually a part of the car that charges the electric motor, hence I suppose that's why they're highlighted in blue. Let me just stop the video there a sec. Why is it that every black Mercedes that I've had recently seems to collect more dirt on the front wing than it does on the door? Like, it's just a bit odd, isn't it? We've got the plug-in hybrid badge on the side there, and whilst we're on the subject of plug-in hybrid, that's where you plug it in there. And I always wonder, like sometimes, you know, you go to Milton Keynes shopping centre, say, and you'll see all the electric cars all on charge out the front there, and I always think, well, why can't someone just go up and nick the plug? And I discovered yesterday that once you plug it in and lock the car, the plug is actually locked into the car, right? And on the note of the plug, automatically opening boot. The boot floor is slightly raised there, by the way. I'm guessing that's where the electric motor is situated. The plug is actually in there, so I get it out. Do you know what? Just for you lot, I'm going to go to the Agro with my freezing cold hand, and I'm going to get it out and show you. There she is. Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, it's boring, isn't it? Right, close that. Like magic, it closes. As we wander around the back, a couple of exhausts at the bottom. Yeah, it does have exhaust at the bottom because obviously we've got a petrol engine under the bonnet. But let's quickly talk about the hybrid factor again, because this has got a little 6.4 kilowatt hour electric motor. To put that into context against a Tesla, say a P85, has got an 85 kilowatt hour battery in it. So this is not a massive battery in comparison, but as you can see from the stats that I've just spoke about, it is still giving this car quite a serious level of performance. So obviously it's not a mad car. Don't expect that it's going to set the world on fire when we go for a drive in it, but it's definitely more impressive than I thought it would be. On the interior, usual Mercedes stuff. It's all very nice in it. My coffee there, proper sales rep, ain't I now? Look, got my coffee, got my sales rep spec Merc. Saying that, it ain't actually sales rep spec because it's got heated seats, look, controlled by the buttons there on the door, which I do really like that as a touch in Mercedes. It's got a twin pan roof and it's got reverse camera. Them three things combined amount to my own sort of personal spec preference, hashtag cow spec. So I like that about this car, and it's obviously finished in a nice glossy black colour with the silver trims, but I'm not really a big fan of that. It's quite a bland looking car, but I think the thing that we want to know really is how does it drive. So let's go for a little drive. Right then, so let's start the engine, right? Wait for it, the button's here just on the dash, guys. Wait for the big moment this car comes to life. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah? Going back to that thing again, is it even necessary for a car to make loads of noise when it can perform like a car that does make loads of noise? I think it is. Like, I look forward to hearing my car start. Like, I don't actually have my own car at the minute, but you know what I mean. If I've got a big V8 under my bonnet, I look forward to cold starts. I look forward to revving the engine, and I look forward to caning it down the road, not just for the performance, but for the sound. And this car just doesn't offer that. Let me just quickly have a little flick through here. It's all sort of green and electric hybrid looking on the instrument cluster here. Energy flow, consumption, electric range, eco display. Like, we're petrol heads. Do we want to see them words in front of us in our pride and joy? Because that's what these cars are. They're not just modes of transport, they're our pride and joy. We don't want to see this shit in front of us, but we do. This is the way the world's going, guys. So we are started. This right lever here is how we put it into drive. Like most Mercedes, I'll switch that camera off there, switch that one on, and we will begin the commute to Bingo. See, now I don't know if I'm just being stubborn, right, because you can't really knock what a hybrid offers. It's decent fuel consumption, or the ability to get fuel consumption if you drive super sensibly, and ultimately you can, if you buy the right one, get good performance, right? This car does 0 to 60 statistically in 5.9 seconds. That's pretty good for a little 2-litre turbo petrol engine in a Mercedes that weighs, we ain't talked about the weight yet, that weighs the same as a C350e AMG, which is weird because, you know, C350e AMG's got a bloody big V8 under the bonnet, but I suppose this has got the big electric motor under the bonnet. So we've got the same weight as the C63, the same torque figure as like the early C63. This is also rear-wheel drive, which, you know, I just floored it then, and there's no way this car is quick as a C63. But you do have the option to switch it to, like, you've got different driving modes. If we switch it up to Sport and then up to Sport Plus, bit more throttle response. I just got a dirty look in a hybrid. He actually shook his head. Yeah, the gearbox kind of is a bit jerky when you put it into sports mode, and there is no ability to adjust the gear changes like you can, like say on an M3 for example. But it does feel quite lively. And now I did get into it last night with extremely low expectations, and I thought, I almost didn't want to drive it because I thought, no, I'm just not giving into this. See, the gear changes are just a bit, I don't know, a bit jerky, a bit harsh, they're just not very nice. But that is only in the sports mode. As soon as you flick it back to comfort, the gear changes are very comfortable. So you have got the ability to, I've just, sorry, change of subject. I've just stuck it in comfort mode, right? The engine is switched off. We're now in full electric mode. The rev counter has dropped to 0. I'll show you a shot of that. There you go. And this does this every now and then. It's like auto stop start, but during driving. Auto stop start only starts or only kicks in when you stop. But this seems to have an auto stop start mode as you're driving, if that makes sense. I haven't done too much research for this video, by the way. I tend to just do everything off the cuff because I don't really have enough time to do it. But there you go, it's just cut out again. And yeah, I'm guessing now we are charging the battery. Now you have got an electric button down here, so you can save, you can switch to electric mode, electric save. So like, I've been driving it in hybrid, but I think when you start the engine, it goes into E mode, which I'm guessing is electric mode. And also, like any hybrid car, it's got a little display on the dash there that shows you how your energy is being transferred to or from your battery, which I think is quite neat. I like that. But you know what? Let's give it some beans. Yeah. That comfort mode is no good. So we go back up to Sport Plus, drop it down, the dash goes all red there, makes it look cool. It's actually rev matching as it dips the gears, so it does turn into a little bit of a sports car. Let's just floor it. Back end just lit up a little bit there. Traction control was flickering at me. I've got no idea how we turn it off. That was not a draggy test. I just wanted to feel some power and see how we get on. But that was pretty good. That felt quite quick, but there is absolutely no way. There's no way this car as quick as my W204. This is a 205, by the way, for those who don't know, C63 AMG. But it'd be interesting to see how it compares. So I think what we'll do right now is we'll cut to that section of the video and see how this performs with the CCD, absolutely pointless and random 20 to 70 mile an hour draggy times. Let's go. Right, let's just quickly recap on the time that the C63 done it in. It done it in, I can't even believe I'm even comparing this car to a C63. But I am, all right? I just am. But the C63 done it in 4.38 seconds. Now, on my draggy leaderboard, the slowest car currently, I think, is one of the Audi TTs or a pair of the Audi TTs, and it done it in 6.71 seconds. I will honestly be quite impressed if it just beats the slowest car of the lot. But we'll see, yeah? Right, Sports Plus mode is engaged. Go! 200 odd brake horsepower from the petrol engine. There it is. And 80 horsepower from the little electric motor. Combined 280 odd brake horsepower. And let's have a little look how quickly it done 20 to 70 mile an hour. But before I do that, I'm going to do a few runs and come back to you with the best run of all three. Alright? Yeah, we'll leave it as that, I think. Let's get the old draggy box off the roof. Handy little tool, that, isn't it? Right, switch it back to comfort. Try and save a little bit of energy. So, the quickest time that I got 20 to 70 mile an hour in this car was drum roll. Started off with a 6 and it ended with 0.03 seconds, right? So it was quicker than all of the slower cars on my leaderboards, but it is nowhere near as quick as a V8 W204 C63 AMG. I didn't expect it would be, but it was quite I don't know, an interesting experiment to do. One thing I would say about this car is it does serve a bloody good purpose. Like, to a lot of people it is dull, it is boring, and a word I've used in this video to explain this car or describe it is soulless, right? It is that, but it's a very good commuting car. It's very sensible, it's very fuel efficient, obviously if you drive it sensibly, and you know what, it looks the part. Like, it looks quite classy. It's got it all going for it, really, isn't it? But for me, nah, I don't think I'm quite ready for it. I think the performance, the way it delivers power, like, it's very on and off. Like the power delivery, because of that combination of the electric motor and the petrol engine, it's just there. And I think the peak power comes in at like something like 1200 revs. So, you know, you can't really argue with what these cars offer. But then the biggest trade-off, like I keep saying, with hybrids is the sound. Like, I don't know. I know this is the way the world's going, and I know one day we're all going to have to give into it, but I'm not quite ready yet for that transition. So, yeah, that's the summary of my thoughts on the C350e. I do like it. It is a great all-rounder, but it just ain't for me. It's as simple as that. You can get one of these cars now for as little as £10,000. For that, you are going to get an extremely high mileage one, probably compromised on spec. And then, as like with any car, the more you spend, the more you get, and the lower mileage you get. But for me, yeah, this just ain't me, this car. But I'm going to end it as that. Look at the way it just flips off. I can't believe this car is performing like this. It's so annoying, but it does. Yeah, gonna leave it as that. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you're new to my channel, and if you're on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I answer a question that I keep getting asked, and that question is, why, Calvin, have you not bought yourself a new car?